Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Link Click Season 2, Episode 2. So, we started off this season last time with just kicking right off with it. We continue right off of where Season 1 ended, with Lu Guang in peril and Xiaoxi basically coming back to deal with Qiao Ling, who was possessed by whoever this person is. So we got the deal with everything kind of going down. Xiaoxi had to incriminate himself to deal with everything. And of course, Lu Guang survived. We expected him to, but they hid that from Xiaoxi at first and made him excessively sad. Um, we also find out that the one dude has a brother, and it's way too obvious. It can't be him, unless that's what they want us to think. Nah, I think it's too obvious. Um, but we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong. It could just be him. Um, but in the meantime, we also see the officer ends up getting killed. The one who we find out now has a wife and daughter and everything. And so it's like, yeah, I might need to save him too. We're already needing to save Emma. We're needing to stop this bad guy. It's like there's a lot of shit going down. Um, I'm just curious as to where this season is going to go. We have one more episode in this season than last time, so I'm hoping that this ends up being really good. But based on the first episode, it's definitely going to. So one other thing to note before we get this going, I have watched the opening so many goddamn times already. I have like legitimately been watching it over and over. I've become as obsessed with it as I was with the first opening. Like I said last time, it's very different than the first opening, and not just because it doesn't have the tutting in it. Like the tone is very different. It feels more melancholy and not really sad, but intensely upsetting, I guess is a way to put it. Um, it feels like shit's about to really get real in a very different way. While season one's opening was very interesting and fun and exciting and was meant to hype you up, this one is meant to get you like really invested, and I like that. It has a different purpose with its opening. It's by the same band though, so you still have that same sound and style, but it's done differently in a way to where it feels like the proper follow up, considering where the story has gone. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next. So let's just get into it. Um, this episode, the second episode, was billed, I guess, as a two-parter because both were released at once. So I guess we're continuing where we left off with the first episode. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, when I reacted to season 1, there was a lot of time. There was a lot of times where I mentioned that the episodes flew by and they were over before I knew it, and I was actually really surprised by how quick they seemed to just fly by because of the entire adage time flies when you're having fun and whatnot, which I've stated in the past. I feel like that's a very narrow view on that. I feel like it'd be better to say time flies when you're invested in something. It covers more of a scope because time can fly when you're watching something that makes you upset and sad. It's not just about having fun. You can actually be put into a bad mood, but you're still so invested in the content that you're put in a bad mood, but you feel good about being put in a bad mood, if that makes sense. Like, it's so well written, so well handled that it actually gives you kind of those happy chemicals, despite it being extremely sad or messed up or whatnot. I don't know how else to explain it better. People than me would be able to explain it a lot better. But um, yeah, this episode really flew by. When it like ended, I was actually kind of surprised it was over so quickly. It's like, wait, it's already the end. And I looked at the time. It's like, oh yeah, that's correct. Um, because and it's because I'm so invested. And already with these first two episodes this season, it is definitely more of an interconnected story. It is with the first season, it started off, I wouldn't say entirely episodic. There was definitely some connection between them and everything that especially you don't entirely realize until later on. But it started off in a way to where it's like, oh, you're seeing these different little stories and how emotional they are and everything. But this, it's like boom, boom, right to the point. Um, like it doesn't even take long to reveal that Bin Chen's brother, I guess, is one of the bad guys. Um, I thought it was too easy, but I was right that he's not the diver. The diver is this hoodie person who the brother is working for. Um, and I assume that he's okay with this their entire crew killing his brother. Then, um, I have to assume he is. But we see that this is not just one person. We see that this is a large organized group. That shit is going down. And it makes me wonder, like, where this is going. Like, how do you fight a large organized group, especially when it seems like they've already taken down one officer. They might have taken down the captain, too. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like it's a lot harder to do than to face down one person. And we know the diver has, it seems like, some differences with Shaoxi and Lu Guang's form of diving, but there's also some similarities, and it's like, I wonder like what all of that is about. I wonder where like all of that's going to go, like how the differences are. I assume we're going to find out more about all of this. Um, but for now, I'm just not really sure. But there's very much a lot being set up here, and it's very exciting to see. Now, I'm trying to find out right now. If you wonder why I look like I'm not paying full attention to the camera and why might hear me typing, I'm actually trying to find something here. Um, yeah, the problem. I was trying to find like if I could find the names here. Let me see. The problem is the Wikipedia thing doesn't list the info for the first two episodes yet. It just lists the titles and the air dates. Um, so I'm like trying to find the brother's name so I can just refer to him as something other than brother. It was like Kiang or something like that. And my anime list wasn't showing anything either. It was like only showing the characters for our main three. Which, by the way, I do really like that Xiao Ling is getting a more active part in this season. Also, sorry if there was some lag there. There might have been some lag in there while I was looking through this all. That tends to happen when I have a different window highlighted. But yeah, it's just I'm just trying to find some stuff out here. The problem is, like, even with the episodes, it only on the fandom page it only shows stuff for season 1. So yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can find much info right now, but um, I'll get it down, I'm sure. But I want to, yeah, Captain Keon. I was gonna say I'm gonna look through this through the episode to see if I can find some stuff here. But it seems like he is Bin Chen's brother. He's a former police officer, became a lawyer later, and now like works privately. But I guess we know he works for this group now. And he's the older brother. But then, let me go forward here. When they're leaving, let me see if I can find that. Ma calls him boss, so Ma works under him, but it seems like he works still under the diver, who I assume the diver is the one in full charge. Let me see if I could let me see this conversation here. So as they're leaving, Ma tells him, "Boss, your acting was too realistic." So it's clear that he's putting on a front. "I really thought you were looking for the guy named Bin Chen and let him replace me." So the way he's saying that there almost makes it seem like this guy isn't Bin Chen's brother. But Bin's wife actively recognized him and knew, unless someone is controlling this guy right now. But we saw the diver, unless there's more than one diver, because we saw the diver in the car. He gave the photo that Ma stole to the diver. So that I'm a little confused then. Because if Ma is saying this, it makes it sound like he's not Bin's brother. I'm not sure, you know? Of course, his only response is he just tells Ma, "If you burp loudly again, I'll cut your throat," and everything. He just gets, scary and all. So then they go on about the photo that he stole. We don't know what photo it was. Like, I don't think we ever see it, but it's clearly going to be a photo that shows Bin and his wife, or at least Bin, I presume. So then we see him call Bin, and Bin recognizes him. They're talking as their brothers. It's like everything is pointing out that he is Bin Chen's brother. So I don't think that's a lie. And he doesn't have red eyes as if someone is possessing him. So I don't know. But then again, that doesn't usually happen with Shaoxi. I think that was just a symbolism to show that Kiao Ling was being possessed by the bad guy. But yeah, they're talking like brothers and just talking about like going through all of this and all. So it definitely makes me feel like the brother knew Bin Chen was going to Captain Kian. I keep calling him the brother. I assume Kian knew Bin was going to die and everything at that point. So they go to a van, and we do actually get to see the photo. Kian hands the photo to the diver, the hooded diver. It is a photo of the two of them, of Ben and his wife, kind of like cuddled up together. I don't know from how long ago it was, though, but maybe that doesn't matter to this diver. Like, we don't know the entire rules. We see a little bit of the diver. We see the red eyes, a little bit of tuft of hair. It's hard to tell with the lighting, though. Like, it looks like it's light colored. But then it just kind of cuts away and goes back to the entire like discussion on Minlu dislocating the chrysoid cartilage and everything. So it kind of cuts away from that. Now I'm trying to see something else here. Let me go through this a little bit more. I wish I could show this on screen when talking about it, but obviously I can't for copyright issues. Like, even just showing the pictures could cause issues. So later on the episode, while they're on the phone trying to find Bin Chen and everything, we see the wife talking to the baby, and then we saw Bin fall from the roof. And you see a look of shock on his face. So at that moment, he's more than likely not possessed. We know Ma was coming from the roof. I'm thinking if Bin Chen was possessed, then he was let go of the possession, and Ma at that point pushed him off the roof. That's probably what happened. He was possessed to be walked up there. The possession was let go of, and Ma pushed him off. That's the vibe I'm getting. We see the captain checking in on him, and they find out about it in the room. And as they're heading out to intercept Ma, we see that the captain is attacked from behind, hit in the head. And while he's laying on the ground, multiple bodies we can see behind him. He was hit in the head pretty hard. He's bleeding pretty bad. There's 3 pairs of legs behind him at that moment. So there's at least 3 people there. But 2 more pairs of legs come from the other side that the first pairs start to walk off towards. So there's at least 5 people who are right there. And considering what we saw at the end of the episode with all of those people popping up, it's like, yeah, there's a large organized group here. It's not just 1 or 2 people. This is like notable. I don't know what that means exactly, but like, I'm very interested to see what this group's goal is, why they're doing all of this, just if the hooded person is actually the one in charge or if it's someone else. Again, the only thing we know about the hierarchy is that Ma works under Kian, and Kian seems to work under the hooded diver. But that might not even technically be true. I don't know. It's like we're gonna have to wait to see. But this is very fascinating. It's kind of a different vibe than the first season, and but it also feels like a natural progression. Like with the first season, if you guys remember my reactions to that, it was very emotional for me, and I was getting like extremely emotional. And now with this season, it's more like the thinking cap has been put on, and I'm just like in investigative mode. It's like it's become a murder mystery, and there were definitely vibes of that in season 1. There were a lot of vibes of the murder mystery stuff, and a lot of that getting like really started, obviously. But it was definitely more about the human connections and the emotions and the depths of character, which is still definitely part of this season so far. But the vibe is also veering towards the murder mystery aspect in a very intense way. And I like getting to see like full on fights, like we see Xiaoxi and Kiao Ling here fighting Ma, and it's like that fight was pretty awesome. It's like this full martial arts fight. Has this wild boxing style compared to Kiao Ling and Xiaoxi's style, and they're just honestly the only reason they were able to beat him is because there were two of them. I think that he would have honestly beat either of them on their own, but because there were two, they were able to basically overcome his strength. But then afterwards, just all these people just pop up, and it's like, what the fuck is happening? I have so many questions. I'm so invested in this. And yeah, the vibes are different. It's definitely still the same series, definitely still got the same progression, and it feels natural, but it's also a very different feel than season one. And I love that. I love that it feels like it's progressed, it's changed, it's evolved from where it started. I like when shows do that, when they become something not completely different, but they evolve into the next stage of where they started at. I don't like it when shows just remain the same from the start, which is why a lot of people like saying like, oh, this show lost its point. It started as this. It should have stayed with this kind of thing, like people say with Hell of a Boss. It should have stayed as Imp taking on these jobs and stuff. It's like, no, it shouldn't have. A lack of progression in the story of a series makes it stale. Doing that kind of thing for too long would have become stagnant. It would have kept the series from, you know, becoming as great as it has been. And the same goes for this. If it just kept with like the single episode or maybe even an occasional double episode story of Xiaoxi just taking on these jobs, it would have stagnated. It would have been the same thing every time, and it's like, that's not entertaining. You need to evolve the story and make it grow and make it just change as it goes along. It needs to not become something completely different, but go from something simple to something a lot more complex. One Piece did this. Obviously One Piece had a lot more time to do it, to be fair. And so many other shows. Owl House didn't start off at the same kind of storytelling and level that it ended up ending with. Neither did Ruby. These shows need to change because that's how you tell a story. You need to build off of everything that came before to create something fresh and interesting. I hate the entire concept of people wanting stagnation, people wanting things to just stay the same. Progression is important in storytelling. And I'm not like the best writer or anything, and even I know that. Like, you can't just keep it the same all the way throughout. So the fact that this season feels very different, that it's taking more of this connected murder mystery feel rather than the mostly in season one singled out stories, is great. Because again, it feels natural. It feels like a natural progression. It doesn't feel like it came out of nowhere, or it makes no sense. There was setup for this from episode 1. And it's like, I like that. That's what I want to see. So hopefully we continue to get more stuff that does shit like this. And I can't wait to see where this season leads. I don't know if there's going to be plans for a third season or if the story's going to be finished in this second season. I have no idea, because it's like with a series like this probably could get a third season, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. They could easily also finish the story in this season. Either way, I'm excited. Either way, I'm all for it. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Link Click? Let me know, and thank you so much for tuning in. As for episode 3, which comes out this Friday, I'm probably going to get to it right away, but I can't say for sure. It depends on, obviously, a lot of other factors, and if I want to get to Link Click on Friday. We'll see. Maybe it'll be Friday, maybe not till next week. Who knows? In the meantime, though, tell me your thoughts on, like I said, this episode down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.